Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel, NBC Stitcher. I'm Matt, and this is Augie, and this is episode number 40 of my Flosstube channel, a YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch. I also talk about books and things that I've been, media that I've been consuming at the end of my everything. So if you're interested in that, stick around to the end. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that has liked, commented, subscribed, done all the things. I really appreciate it. I love seeing the interaction. Anybody that's commented on my posts on Instagram as well, thank you so much. And it's really, that's really the fun part of doing this. Going to the retreat at the beginning of this month was kind of the next level of that, I think. Actually seeing people and talking to people in person and all that was really fun. So I really do appreciate all of that. If you get the chance to go to a retreat with other cross stitchers, I would recommend it. It was a lot of fun. Think about cross stitchers. A lot of us are socially awkward at times, or have those kinds of anxiety and that kind of stuff that comes just being like who we are. And so, but everybody else is there like that too. It's a great fun. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend everybody go to one. I hope to go to more. I would love to go to Steel City's Stitchers next year. I am currently on the wait list on StitchCon, so that might happen, but with my work stuff, sometimes things happen and it's like, well, I can't really go vacation that month. And so that's where we're at. But we'll see. I'm hoping. Okay, so I've got a lot to show. So it's been about 3 weeks since the last time I did a video. Or maybe it's only been, I guess it was at the beginning of the month and it's been about 3 weeks. So, or it's coming up. It'll be 3 weeks Monday. That's what it is. So it's been, we've had an ice storm, sleet and stuff. The roads have been pretty icy. So it's been kind of but we haven't had any loss of power or anything here. So that's nice. But yeah, it's been a little odd this week compared to others. So I do have quite a bit of stitching to show. I've got haul, and then I'm also thinking of participating in the March Madness. So I have some plans for that, that I would like to share. And so that's kind of what's on the agenda. All right, first of all, I do have a couple finishes. Are you gonna, before I get to that, let me just talk about a few. I've been catching up on some Flosstube and watching some new people to me. Lots of people that have been kind of doing this for a while, and so I don't think they're new, but for one reason or another, they just hadn't come up in my feed, or I haven't been watching as many episodes as I was, but the Betsy Klager is one. I just found her recently. I know she is good friends with several people I'm friends with, but I don't know, that hadn't completed the thing. So her, and I will link both of these two Flosstube channels down below, so you can, what are you doing? Where are you going that way? So you can go check them out. Betsy's great. She's also a lawyer, like me. So that was interesting. There's actually in my office another lawyer that cross stitches and a paralegal that cross stitches. So it's not that odd, but it's nice to find another one, I guess. But yeah, and I just watched her most recent video where she was celebrating her 3,000 subscribers, and then back at the beginning of hers, I guess this is the second time she's done Flosstube, so she came back and saw that. So yeah, go give her a follow, a watch. She's hilarious and great and just very enjoyable. And then another Flosstuber who is pretty new, having his own channel, but he has made an appearance before on Ellen Reed's channel, which is Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. If you don't know Ellen, you should go watch her. She's hilarious. She's amazing. She stitches a lot of samplers, kind of that and primitive type of things, but she's also, that's not everything she does, but she's also a musician and with the Crash Test Dummies. And so Ellen's amazing and she's hilarious. And if you watch Pam and Steph, I think it was 2 years ago, Ellen made a video of the two of them that like they cut into and put it at the end of the year thing. That was hilarious. Yeah, so that's Ellen. So go watch her. But Ryan and on Instagram, he's Rai McGuy. And I don't think that's his Flosstube channel, but I've watched several people in the last couple days, and so I can't remember that. But I know that's his Instagram, so it'll be down below. But his first video is out, and it's really fun. He goes through a whole bunch of his recent projects. Well, not like a full whip parade type thing, but a bunch of different things. It was really enjoyable. And yeah, so you should go check him out. And yeah, so I will also give a shout out to the X's and Hoes who I met at the Steel City Stitchers Retreat. I talked about them last time, but they're amazing. They're hilarious. They just they just put up their video of their recap. Augie, do you have to chew on your bone right over here? We'll see. Anyway, they just did a video. They put up their video. They're great. Go watch them. They were trying to, they came up with, they were saying my name as MBC Stitcher, and like, you know, like M as in Matt, B as in boy, and C as in cat. And I was like, maybe Matt Boy Corgi would be better because it's a little bit more me, but yeah, very, very close. So yeah, and I think Memphis Sarah E is going to be using that as well. So if that's what it takes to remember what my name is or whatever, that would be great. But anyway, I do have a couple finishes to, well, they both were finishes and then FFOs. So let's go ahead and get into that. This first one was a SAF that I've been doing these, well, I'm counting as a SAF, but so this is from Satsuma Street, the Invierno pattern, which is winter, and it's a 3x3 set of motifs inside a grid. I'm doing just the motifs individually, and so I have done 2 others of the winter ones, and this is the third one. So this is deer, and I did that. It's all done in DMC, but there is some of the DMC color variations, and so I stitched him up. It's just on a white 16 count Aida. I did change the dark color of the kind of like the legs that are back behind in shadow. I didn't have the one that it was called for some reason in my thing, and I couldn't find it really quickly, so I found something else. So it's just like, that makes sense, I'll use that. So really enjoyed that. And so part of one of my goals this year was to get some more small finishes done and fully finished so that I could put them up to do kind of more of a seasonal decorating. And so I've had completed 3 of the spring ones, and then I have now completed 3 of the winter ones, and so this will hang up with the other 2 that go up on the wall. And then as spring happens, I think there's a couple more that I want to do on the spring pattern. I'm not planning to do all 9 from any season, but I'm trying to get a few more things done so that I can kind of work on that. And the other thing I finished, this is not seasonal, but it is going to be going up, well, it won't be quite in the camera angle, but I'm putting it up here, so you will see part of it probably normally. But this is Ink Circles, Elemental Dragons, Earth. This was the first in Tracy's series of dragons. I have all 4 of the patterns, but this was the first one I started and the first one I finished. I am also going to be working on the other ones, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later. But this is on a 40 count Verdal, which is an even weave, and it's dyed by Stitchy Kindness. The colorway is Earth, but like other even weaves, it kind of dyes a little lighter. I mean, even the linen doesn't get, well, I have a piece that's pretty dark, but it's kind of teal. It's tealy with some kind of peachy colors. It reminds me of like the surface of the Earth, where there's some like landmass and water and that kind of thing. So that was, I think, the reference. But I really enjoyed this piece. These are not tiny, but they're not huge either. I did it 1 strand over 2, and it's all 1 variegated floss. And so I'm really happy with that. And I finished it, both of them are finished on canvases you can buy at Michael's or a craft store. I do put a layer of batting down and then put the fabric or the cross stitch over it and staple gun it into place. But I did do a tutorial not that long ago of how I do this. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go see how I did this one, because that was the one I did in my video. All right. So those are my finishes. That's about it so far. I am on track, I guess. I have a goal of getting 30 finishes this year, but that also includes page finishes and even the small things. So like the deer is one of those 30, but yeah, so I'm working towards that, and I do think I will get that. Okay, so let's talk about what else I've spent a lot of time stitching on. Okay, I started this New Year's Day, or was it New Year's Eve? I think New Year's Day. New Year's time period. But this is Plum Street Samplers Polar Pack. This is one of the stack of animal ones. This one came out this December, I think, or somewhere around there. But it's a group of polar bears. And I have a couple others of those patterns, but this was the first one that I wanted to start. And I did the DMC, and then I changed the fancy floss. I think all of it. Yeah, I did. So it calls for 4 different fancy floss, but I changed the red to Buckeye Scarlet, and then the green is Grasshopper. The called for were a little bit more muted, and I wanted more vibrant, so I went with that. This is on a 36 count linen from Stitchy Glacier, and it was in the winter box this last year. And so the other thing I am doing, the bear, I think it's whatever the called for is, it's one of the whites from the overdyes, and so I have some white silk from Silks For You, and I just used that instead. I think it looks great, so I'm really happy with it. Got a little bit more of the red to fill in, and then work on the bear, the middle bear, and then the baby. And you know, I've started this tree over here. Then the black is Be Stitch Me Cauldron, which is her silk color that's black. It's pretty dark, but yeah, it just, for what I've used it for, it just kind of goes around the border. But this is as wide as it is, and then it'll probably be about this tall. But yeah, so I'm really happy with this. This needle minder I got from my friend Zan, Crazy Band Lady Stitches, on Instagram and Flosstube. She was at the Steel City Stitchers retreat. She really likes, well, she really liked this pattern and then decided not to get it. And then it was gone, it was sold out when she changed her mind. So, makes me think of her. Also, there's a bee, and that's one of her things. So I wasn't planning to do the bee, but now I'm gonna do the bee. So, and then when I finish it, I will send the pattern on to Zan. So that is Polar Pack. If you have not seen the market pre-orders, there is a corgi stack called the Corgi Caboodle that I have already pre-ordered, because definitely that's happening. But yeah, so whoops. Looks all right. Okay. So, okay. Now, let's talk about this one. Okay. I purchased this last year. I believe it was last year. The Cross Stitch for the Earth book from Emma Cogden. Stitcherovia is her Etsy shop. She has several, you know, lots of things. If you've ever worked on a Stitcherovia pattern, they're a lot. Or what I mean by that is they're pretty dense, but they're beautiful. They look great. When looking through the book, this was the one that caught my eye the most first, and this is the pattern that I'm doing. It's Between Two Pines, and it says, between two pines is the doorway to a new world. And I love the way that the green fabric is used in the negative space there of kind of the trees. And so I was talking to Jody of the Steel City Stitchers and her fabric wizardriness, and see if she could dye something for me, and she did. And so I have been working on this a while, but I did get some more progress on here. So this is where I'm at. I finished up the W for new and kind of worked my way around here. Slowly kind of working my way down, and then I'll kind of go back up. But yeah, so it's just with regular, or it's the called for is DMC, which is what I'm doing. And in a lot of her stuff, I don't know that I would really want to change her stuff to an overdye, because she uses different colors in such a way that you'll get that kind of effect, but it's planned out, and there's, you know, she has like there's a whole bunch of different greens in this, and pinks, and that to really give you those different colors, which may be kind of how it works if you did it with an overdye, or how it comes out. But yeah, so that is that one. I am happy with that. Okay. I do have, excuse me, a picture. So I showed this last time because I also took it with me to Pittsburgh, but I have been continuing to work on Cleopatra from Bendy Stitchy, which was part of the Meow the Merrier group of Expo last fall. So I'm working on this on a piece of 14 count Ada that my friend Jessica, the Rainy Day Stitcher, printed up. It's a picture of some papyrus that she printed on her inkjet printer, and yeah, so I got quite a bit more. I added, worked some more on Cleo herself, and then the border, and I've been kind of continuing to work on that. I'm using Sulky, which is the called for. I did change most of the yellow to a metallic, which is the Diamant from DMC, which it's not my favorite metallic, but it's not that bad. It does tend to shred a little bit quicker than like Treasure Braid or something. It could also be because I'm using 2 strands, and that's probably why it's being kind of a butt, but I'm not like cursing it, at least not at this point, but yeah. I really do like this piece, and I definitely will get this done this year. This is gonna be, it's something that's easy to work on because it's 14 count, so it's really easy to see the holes without magnification or anything, and so that's going to get some progress. So you'll probably see it again relatively soon. Okay, let's talk about my next piece. So one more, and then I have my full coverages, and I'll do all those together. Okay, so let's see, view mockup. Okay, so I am working on Long Dog Samplers, the pointed fifth, which looks like this in the black, the way it's charted. I am doing it in all sorts of colors. The majority of the border is done in a Silks for You rainbow color, and then I'm just using whatever else I feel like for the other things. So like this, hold on. So for this seahorse, I used this bright yellow from Threadworks. I used Mrs. Seda silk for the ducks here. This is a different Mrs. Seda silk for this peacock. There's Silks for You silk here in this castle because it reminds me of the castles in the Air Castle. I used Classic Colorworks here in this house. And then I've just used other stuff I've had, essentially some Threadworks that I get from my nest egg and pushed away. So I don't know if you can use Pattern Keeper for long dogs, but there have been a couple issues that have turned up in a couple patterns, this one included. Also in the one for You Belong to Me, which was the Egyptian themed one that came out earlier this year. When you put it into Pattern Keeper, it asks you like how many shaded rows are repeats, and there's 5 in the pattern, in the PDF of what you're doing, so you put 5 in. Well, on this one, what it does when you say that, it eliminates a row. So that had happened, I didn't catch it, and so I had to frog a bunch of stuff. So in reality, this castle is down a little bit, and it's right in here where the row is cut. So everything down below is fine, but there's a row missing right here. So I kind of left this. I took out the top here of the border and then redid all of this. And then finished up this house and added the deer and then did all the top up here, but I did it from the top. So there's a little bit, an extra space there, but I'm fine with it. I don't need to make the castle taller. And if it looks weird or I want to change it, I'll just make the turrets a little bit bigger, just to add another level there, but I'm not planning on doing that at this point. So, yeah, so The other thing, I would like to get this done by the next leap day. Originally, I had started Castles in the Air, which was the first long dog that I started for the long dog leap day Sal, which Aaron Two Martini Stitcher started. I believe there's somebody else that started it with her, but I was watching Aaron, and that's why I remember. I have substituted this for my leap day. It's a bigger piece, and I want it to be the one that I continue to work on. And I did calculate if I do 80 stitches a day, which sounds like quite a bit actually, I will get it done. So I'm also trying to like add in a bunch of work on this so that maybe I can build up a little bit more wiggle room, and I think it's doable. But what I did, because I still want to use Pattern Keeper. So the other option, you can add in, gosh darn it, people. I'm sorry, every time I go to record, then conversations are happening. And this is not even like, or this is, let me see, settings. I'm sure there's a way to notifications. What was I gonna say? So I'm sure there's a way to just turn them off. Well, okay, there. I'll turn it back on later. What was I saying? Okay, so, right, so I still wanted to use Pattern Keeper. I mean, otherwise I'd put it in, like, I wouldn't do it in paper, but I would put it on a PDF viewer and then like highlight it off. But I wanted to use Pattern Keeper, and so what I did, on this one, if you put in 4, it has the correct number of rows, but it no longer has the correct number of columns. It duplicates a column at the page break. And so I did that, and then I went through and I marked off all of those, the extra line as done, even though it hasn't been done. Just as kind of like, that's what I'm doing to try to like, I can still use it and it still works. So far that's working for me. So that's the plan. So this should be 36 count vintage country mocha. That's what I ordered. It doesn't feel like 36 count, feels more like 32, and I've tried to count it, and it also seems like it's closer to 32 than 36. And so I think even if it's 32, it should still fit, but maybe not, because, well, yeah, there's more. There's still more. So I'm kind of, the next time I work on this, my plan, is to move up. So I'm going to work on the border here, and then, or at least the column up, and then kind of move my way up. And there's another big set of scenes here, and then there's the top one, I think. So that's kind of the plan. And I hope to get a good amount of progress. And hopefully, I haven't worked on this in a while, not because of that issue. That issue actually I discovered, well, okay. The You Belong to Me issue was discovered a couple weeks ago. Vicky Stitch and Button talked about it on her channel. And then my friend Kate, Stitchy Aardvark, who doesn't do Flosstube but is on Instagram, and you should go follow Kate. She had it happen in You Belong to Me, and then she also found somebody talked about that it was happening in this one too. And so that's kind of been the issue there. But so thank you, Kate. But I hadn't really felt like working on it, so I hadn't worked on it. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to frog so much. And I did frog, but I'm further now than I was before I frogged, so I'm just glad I'm kind of back into a spot. But it is pretty easy. Like, I enjoy it. It's an enjoyable stitch. And then I just pick a color as I get to something else where I need to do something that's not the rainbow. I'll just pick something and do that. So that's kind of what I've been doing there. Okay, so full coverages. I have 3 full coverage pieces that I work on. I work in the diagonal, and then as I finish the diagonal, I switch to another piece. And so they're not all at the same point. First up, I'll talk about my oldest one, which is Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Or, well, actually, I guess I start the biggest one. Let's talk about it that way. So this is Once Upon a Fairy Tale, and here I'll show you the mock-up of it on Pattern Keeper. So this is the standard size. It's not max color. It's not super expanded, and it's not like, it's just the regular size. So, and I am working down here at this bottom part. On this one, I work in a 10 stitch wide diagonal. There's a lot more color changes on this because it's a busier pattern, or there's a lot more shown on it. So this is how far I got, and I did complete or close enough that I was ready to move on. The diagonal. I am a little bit over in some spots, and then there's a few like little stitches that I need to do, but I just was like, nope, I'm ready. And so you can see there's this mermaid is starting to show up here, more of the house, and yeah, or the houses, we're kind of getting that way. So that's where I'm at on Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I do enjoy this piece. It's a lot more color changing than the other ones, but I do like it. Yeah. Okay, and then like the opposite of that is my next one, because not only is there way less colors at this point in it, I am also, it's also my smallest. So this is Groundling. The chart is from Unconventional X Stitch, and the artist is Carla Morrow. And it's a really nice piece. I really like it. I love the colors, and I just think it's a really pretty piece. And this one I started in this corner, and all of these are done in 10 stitch. So that's the other thing, like, you just get progress faster because you're only doing half as many, a stitch takes half as long to complete. So this one I'm working in a 20 wide diagonal, and I did get my next set done. And so that's where I am. There's less than 10 colors in this diagonal, so that also helped. So I had several times where I had the same color. I had to use a multiple strand in the same diagonal just because, well, maybe a couple times, not that many, but yeah. And then I will be doing more. When this one comes back around, I will work on it again. This one is newer. I just started this in the last couple weeks, or this year. Or maybe it was at the end of, actually it was at the end of last year, I think. I don't remember, but recently. And so I am back onto my one I'm the furthest along on, which is called Intimate Encounter. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist is Sandra Santera. And this is what it looks like. This is obviously a a moment between two male deities. We have Pan here at the bottom and Hearn up here. And so I liked it and I wanted to do it. So that's what I've been working on. I'm doing 20 wide diagonals on this one as well. I only recently got to this week, and I had already completed my goal for the month of February of how many stitches on my full coverages I wanted. And so I was kind of working more towards my March goal, but this is where I'm at so far. So I've kind of worked my way up. So typically I complete the parked threads and then start filling back in. This time I kind of worked my way up to about here and then stopped, and then now I'm going through and adding more colors, but I will continue to do that. I'm gonna have to move this probably when I get up here because I don't know that I'll have, I'll need to move it, but I got space to move it. I'll do that before I get up there. But yeah, so this is, I'm furthest along on this one. I have 2 pages done. And when I say page, I mean by number of stitches. So because I don't complete a page, I count the number of stitches, and then I'm actually, by the time I finish this diagonal, I should have 3, maybe just 2. Maybe I have 1 and I will have, I don't remember, but I have it in my records. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. But anyway, so I should be getting the next, because there's about like 6,000 something. No, maybe it's more than that. It's quite a bit of stitches per page. But I will, when I finish this diagonal, I should have that done. So it's just amazing. I think it's beautiful. You really see the detail. It's a big scene. And so I'm just really enjoying this, and I will continue to do that. We've got, so like, I think this is more of Pan's arm over here than the fist. There's some of his hand, but it kind of ends, I think. So we'll get some more of that, and then I really do love this piece, and would like to finish it within a decade, so that's why I have a lot of progress to make. Okay, now that's the end of the stitching that I have stitched. So let's talk about some plans. First of all, I want to show you, I have, when I finished Earth Dragons, I am now going to be working on water. I looked at all 3 of the ones that I have, and this is the one that I want to do first. So this is the pattern. These are the water dragons. This is ink circles, elemental dragons, water. And so I'm going to continue to do it on the same kind of fabric, and then with one kind of floss. So this is the fabric that I have chosen for the water. It's a 40 count Verdal, hand dyed by Be Stitch Me, and then, which I kind of special ordered, I think this one, and then the air one. And then this is the floss that I'm using, which is a beautiful, beautiful royal blue color. I don't know the name of it, but it's 11383 from Threadworks. And so this is a 20 yards gain, but it's a really pretty blue. It has a little bit of variegation to it. It's harder to see, but you kind of get some of it there. But it's just beautiful. It may be bikini blue. That may not be right. But 11383. So this will be started. So this is, if I do end up doing the Steel City Stitchers March Madness, that will be one of the starts. So They put up a video last week. You can go watch them explain how it works. There's a bracket, and then you have 2 projects, battle it out. You can put up polls on Instagram. You can just make your own decision. You can do what you want, but there's no Cross Stitch Police or March Madness Police for this. And yeah, oh, I just remembered. I didn't talk about this because I didn't have it in the room, but this is the little tiny little finish that Victor did for everybody that came to the retreat. This is, so it says SCS, and it's done 1/1 on, I think it's, is it over 1? Yeah, 1/1 on 40 count with a toile. 40 count black linen. So it's tiny. Victor is amazing. Flosstube on Instagram. If you don't follow him, go do that. So I was like, oh, I think I'll just put it up there. I may do something a little different with it in a little bit. I thought about also turning it into a fob for like the zipper on a bag or something like that. If I get like something that's kind of more that themed or Pittsburgh themed, maybe that would be a fun thing to do with it. But yeah. Okay, so I did pull out the ones that I have kitted for air and fire, so I thought I'd show those to you to kind of share. So this is air, which is another of the dragons. Obviously, air and water typically have blue kind of coloring when you think about them, or clear for air, because it's really hard to, well, and water for that matter. But anyway, so I decided to go much darker on the fabric this time. So this is like a navy colored fur doll that Brandy did for me. And then I'd have a very light blue Threadworks that is gonna be that one. It does have a little bit of variegation to it. It goes to like white a little bit. You can kind of see it some, but this is 10150. I don't know the name for the Threadworks, but yeah, I'm excited about this. I bet I will need magnification because it's so dark. Even that's probably the darkest fur doll I've seen, but it doesn't like to dye very dark, so I don't know what Brandy had to do to get that. But, okay, and then for fire, ooh, this is what fire looks like. These are the fire dragons. I am doing it also on a 40 count for a doll from Brandy. The colorway is called Phoenix. And so it looks like this. Beautiful, beautiful modeling. Amazing, right? And then I'm using this red cotton from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. Color number 11. But it's a beautiful red. I've used it before. I think it's what's in her skirt. Yeah. So, amazing color. Love it. It's gonna be great. So, yeah. But I'm only starting one of these for March Madness. I just don't think I could really, if I start all 3 of them, I know I'm only gonna really wanna work on one of them. So I don't wanna do that. Okay, so other things, I have pulled some other things that are potential starts. So I was gonna talk about those as well. First of all, I have the Bird Crush Club. This is the Stellar's J. Originally I was gonna work on it at the beginning of the year, but I didn't end up doing that. This is Lindy Stitches. It's the year-long thing, kind of club for it. And so I've got all the called for DMC and then the Threadworks that goes with it. And then this is Garden Party by Bee Stitch Me on a Jobelin. So I was gonna do it on this. I think it'll look pretty. It'll look great on this. And yeah, this color is really good. Justine and Jackie both have it from X's and Ho's, and this was one of the ones where it was like we were like, is that this color? Yeah, because we could just like call out which one it was. So that's a possibility. I could do the ducks. I don't have that kitted, but which is the newest one. Showed it last time. Okay. So the next thing, this is the Cardinal Biscornu from Tiny Modernist. So I have several Biscornu that I kind of would like to get some done. This was one, and it would also be like a winter thing. And then this is a piece of Toast Ada from Be Stitch Me. I've had it for a while, but it's 16 count toast. Lovely. And so it's in DMC, right? Like that would just look amazing. So yeah, that's, I've had this kitted for a while, so I would like to do that. I don't think it'll be that big. I know it's not that big, so that would be something I think I could get done pretty quickly and have for seasonal finish to do next year, to put up for Christmas this year, or the end of winter. Okay, next up is another ink circles. It is Athena Noctua, which is this beautiful Athens owl or Athena owl, which is part of the symbol of Athena. And I have a piece of 32 count vintage country mocha Lugana that I have for that, and then the called for floss. It does have some gassed, and I also have, yeah, that's also one. Yeah, so I've got the gassed to go with it as well. So I was going to use those when I get to starting that one. But yeah. Okay. Next up, I'm assuming you don't have any problem seeing this because I'm getting a call, but it's a spam call. So I don't think my video changed, but anyway. Okay, also I was gonna start Nutcracker King from Satsuma Street. I will probably be giving this to my mom for Christmas. She loves nutcrackers and I like making her an ornament. So this will probably be, if I would like to do this year and get it done so I can give her one. I didn't end up doing it last year, but I did give her other stuff. So I don't want to put it off another year. I gave her 2 years ago, I gave her a different one of those pieces. So it's like, I really want to stitch that at some point, and I need to. Okay, now, a lot of these are on the same kind of fabric, or at least in the same color family, so that's kind of different. Okay, I purchased this at the Steel City Stitchers Retreat. It's from the Scarlet House. There's probably dog hair on this. There's probably is the name of the chart. But I'm doing the dog hair one. So I want to do it, but I'm doing my own colors. So I had this piece of 16 count Ada. It's called Christmas in Williamsburg. It's from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's gorgeous. I wanted to do that. And then I have 2 silks from my stash that I want to use. We have Karen Water Lilies 281 called Hudson Bay, and then Mrs. Sadis Rouge. So that's kind of what it looks like. Oh, that's kind of blowing it out, but it's, well, I think that's great. This looks better in person than I think you're seeing it. So yeah, it's coming way darker. It's not like that in person. So I think it'll look really cool. And so the rouge will be the kind of like scroll pattern at the base and the top, and then the words will be in the Hudson Bay. So I don't think that one will take that long. But those are the possible starts. If I do it, I will likely do a current whip versus a start in the 4 patterns, or the 4 slots, or the 4 initial playoffs, I guess. And then, so my potential whips. I went through everything, and what I want to do is I want stuff that I can either get some good amount of progress on or things that are close to being finished. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. And so this is Woodland Owl. I don't remember the name of it. It's from a cross-stitch designer on Etsy, and it doesn't have a name on the printout. Yeah. Stitchy Little Fox is the designer, Gabby Jerome, and she did this in 2018. So it's basically a silhouette of an owl, and then inside is some forest. I'm more than halfway done. It's a 4-page chart, and I've done the bottom 2 pages. So there's top pages, and there's like the body of the owl, the wings, the head. So there's not a huge amount left. This is on 16, 18 count Ada from Be Stitch Me. This is like one of the oldest pieces of her fabric that I have. It is from before she had a website. She was on Etsy like that long ago. I don't think it had a name, or if it did, it was like mermaid green or something like that. So it's a beautiful color. I used the other portion of this piece for another project that I gave somebody for Christmas 2 years ago. And so it's just, I love this piece. And then, but I would like to get this done this year. This is also part of the hashtag Owlbee Stitching Sal that I started with Becca Sambry Stitches, where we were stitching owl pieces, and to see what other people, the other owl patterns people liked. We both like owls, that's why. And then I have it in this lovely bag of owls, Christmas owls, that I got from Lynx Stitch. Beautiful. Becca also has this bag, and so maybe it's Forest Owl, because that's what I wrote on the tag, but that may not be right. But yeah. Okay. So this one is a possibility for a whip that I will work on. I didn't put that in here. I don't have the cover picture. But this is Lady Cat from Nora Corbett. She's not really close to being done, but she's one of my Noras that I have the most progress on. So if I work on one, I probably will work on her, because I'll keep going with her to get her closer to being done. And then there's beads, and there's a lot of stuff. It's not likely to get finished this month, or March, but I will probably work on this one. The other one that I pulled that I may work on instead of, or in addition to, is Deco Spirits. This is an older Mirabilia pattern. This is what it looks like. So you've got kind of 4 elements, Art Deco style scenes. I'm doing them 4 individually on just white 32 count Lugana. So this is the first one this is the only one that I've started. This is Air. And I think I'm like at least halfway or close to it, if not. But I would work more on her. There's no beads on this one. And so there is backstitch that I would need to do, but you can get a sense of what she looks like. But I would like to get some progress on this. Maybe get her done, and then I'd have like one more. Maybe start the next, well, I don't know when I'll start the next one or what it'll be. But, and then the other thing I pulled, so Cleopatra is also in this list. The other one that I pulled is the Pride historical minis from JJ Cross Stitch. This is what it looks like. So there are 8 LGBTQ historical people of importance, and then the pride flag in the center. I'm doing this on a 28 count over 1 in tent stitch. And that's this is Gilbert Baker, who was the original designer of the rainbow pride flag. So all the people in this have importance into LGBT history. I saw Victor, Adam, and some other LGBT cross-stitchers on Instagram starting it last year during Pride Month. And so I got the flag and I got Gilbert done, and then I kind of petered out and haven't done the other ones. So I will start the next one. I have all of them at J&J Cross Stitch is on Etsy, or JJ Cross Stitch is on Etsy. They are husbands that I think they both design cross stitch. I'm pretty sure they do. So they designed this. They have several other historical figure patterns of all kinds, but they did the Pride series last year, and so I want to do that as well. And then this is on a 28 count Neptune from Be Stitch Me. I think it's Neptune. Maybe Tsunami. I don't remember the name of it. It's a water named theme, but it's a 28 count Lugana, and so I'm just doing it 2 over 1 tent stitch. I did not, there's one color that goes kind of like around the frame here on Gilbert that I did not end up stitching. It's the only place where it is in the middle, and so I was going to continue that because, I mean, the fabric showing through there, that's perfect, so I'm not going to do anything with that. But yeah, this is in my Oklahoma bag from Garon Toten Bags. Oklahoma themed. We've got, oh, that's backwards, but yeah, you can see Oklahoma Golden Driller. That's here in Tulsa. It's actually right by my house. I'm not very far from the fairgrounds. Okay, so that's the plans. So I definitely want to do several of those. Now, I did try to do March Madness 2 years ago, and I did like 1 or 2 of them, and then I was like, don't tell me what to do. So that could quite possibly happen as well. I didn't even try last year, but I'm kind of wanting to use it as an idea to get more stuff. Like, I just want to try it again. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have some Stitchy Kindness and some haul. First of all, Stitchy Kindness. My friend Kate, Stitchy Aardvark, she wasn't able to make it to the Steel City Stitchers Retreat, but we were going to finally meet in person, which was really exciting, but we didn't end up happening. She sent me something she was going to give me at the retreat, which was this lovely project bag and extra thing. Does it say? I think it's in here. Does it? I don't know who it's from. I'm not sure who made the bag. Hold on. Nope, I don't see. So I'm not sure who made it, but it's great. It does fit and a nice big Q-snap, which is what I like. And so Kate has done the owls piece from Owl Forest Embroidery. And so I put mine in there because I don't have as much. She's already finished it, but we kind of, I need to work on this. And so maybe if I put it in here, it will be better of a, oh, I should work on that than what it is currently. So, and a little notions bag as well. Okay, I did purchase this project bag from Whip It Up Project Bags up in Canada. She's on Etsy. She does, she sells on Etsy, but she'll like preview on Instagram. And so it is a mermaid theme. I saw this and snapped it up, and I put Triton in here. I don't have a whole lot of progress on him, so I'm not really gonna show it, but it does fit that. I don't even have him on a Q-snap right now, so. Okay, and then, oh, this actually should go on there too. Okay, I ordered from So Much to Love, a project bag. I've never ordered from them before, but it was really nice. It did take a little bit of time, but it wasn't like out of the time that what they told me. But I did like that it's a little bit bigger, or they have multiple sizes, but they have one that'll fit in 11 by 11. It has a nice like bottom to it that I can definitely use it, and it's kind of like fancy. Well, I love hydrangeas anyway, but I do like this fabric. So it reminds me a lot of my grandmother, and so I'm working on this piece. Well, in theory, I'm working on it. I haven't worked on it in a while, but this is a chart that I got from my grandmother called Noble Companions. It's from Leisure Arts. It's kind of old school. But there's two of them. There's Santa on with the polar bear and Santa on a horse. And I am hoping to do both of them. I don't think I'll get both of them done this year. I may not even get one of them done, but I'm working on Santa on the horse to then give to my grandmother, and then I have on the same piece of fabric, I'll do the polar bear, and then I'll keep that one, and then we'll both have them. But it's on 36 count Mystic linen from Picture This Plus, and so I don't have a huge amount. I believe it goes that way. It might go this way. I don't remember, but that's something I need to work on because it's already almost the end of February and I haven't really done a whole lot with it. I knew I wasn't going to get done last year for Christmas, but I really haven't worked on that all that much either. So that probably will go into I'll work on this. Kate also sent me these lovely needle minders. This owl one, which is just the Athena owl, and then a peacock. I also like peacocks. I also like birds. So that, and these are from Mad for Minders. So, ooh. Oh, and I did get some for So Much to Love. I also got some tea, stash tea. It is chocolate mint. So I will try that. I'm in Virtual Stitchers on Facebook, which is a group where they host Zoom rooms, essentially, where you can log in and virtually stitch with people. That's how I met like Kate and other people. And so I like going on there, especially Friday nights. But Vicky Stitch and Button is one of the administrators of it, and they do donations to keep it funded, but they also this year they're selling some needle minders, which says Virtual Stitchers on it. So I purchased one of those, got that from Vicky, and I will put that on a piece as I work on it. Okay, I got my Color and Cotton floss of the month. And so this is a relatively new, this is only the second month I've been in it, and I do the brights. So they're 8-yard skeins, 5 of them bright colors. So we got Carmine, which is a lovely red, Oleander, a nice purpley pink, Taffy, a beautiful pink, Blue Hydrangea, which is both purple and blue, lovely, and then Martian, which is a lovely neon lime green. So those were that's what I got this month. And so okay, I did today, or actually it came yesterday, but I didn't go out to the mailbox until today. I got my nest egg from 3 All Threads, which I get the 20-yard skeins of Threadworks. And so I will read off to you what I got. And I did go back and check. And so when I started getting this, she was in the B's. And so now we're up into the S's. So I've still got a ways to go, I think, in the alphabet. But I'm gonna have most of it, I think. Okay, 11231, which is this color. It's called Santa's Beard. It's a lovely white, silvery gray. 10422, Rustic Red. It's pretty rusty, more brown to me than really red. Taupey. 11381, Seafoam. So it's got, it's a variegated color, blue to seafoam green. 1071, Rustic. Nice variegated color there. 11580, Passion Flower. So a purpley taupe color. 1144, Sea Treasures. It's kind of a light purple color, like a dusky purple and gray. 1143, Sea Flowers, which is like a dusty kind of orange and blue, like, I don't know, it's pretty light. 1111, San Antonio. It's a cream color. It's got a little orange to it. 10301, Samson. Another cream. And then 10351, Rustic Brown Cherry. Okay, it's brown, variegation browns. So those are that. Okay, I ordered some silks. I don't know that all, just different ones, and I ordered them from 123 Stitch. So I was I'm trying to kit up garden stars for my birthday start. I talked about this last time. And so I was trying to get some other greens or browns or things that I could use with garden stars. And then I saw some that were on clearance or on sale, and so I picked up a few that they looked nice. So I got a few skeins of this called Tropical Seas, which was on sale. It's a nice light blue, white kind of color. Liked that one. And I don't think this is gonna work for me, but this is, and that's Karen Water Lilies. This is also Water Lilies, and it's called Bark, which is brown and has like a purple to it. And then Turquoise Trail, which is turquoise and then like every other color. It's got green, blue, coral, yellow, so yeah. Now there are some colors that I do think are going to work, and so I have those as well. This is Sherwood Forest, also Water Lilies. It's a nice brown, like a kind of greenish brown, or like, I think that'll work. Then I got some Thread Gatherer Silken Colors Pond Scum, which is more yellow. It's not that golden. It's kind of like a yellow-green. In real life, it's not quite that golden, but I think that'll work. And then I got these two, which are very similar and barely any difference: Bronze Age Green and Cypress Umber. And so you can barely see a difference between the two of them. I'm gonna go with this one that I am gonna use, which is the Cypress Umber. And then this is Bronze Age Green. Probably won't use that in my garden stars, but I am getting close to having, I'm gonna consolidate because it's charted in like 20 something colors, and I don't think it needs that many. And so I'm planning to not use that many. Okay, I got my Jody Fabric of the Month as well. And so I got 36 count this month in the linen, and I got this bright yellow, which is like really bright, but highlighter yellow, and then a nice pink. It's also very nice. 36 count, can definitely get some smalls in there or something along those lines. I also ordered this from Brandy at Stitch Me. I got the embellishment pack as well that she did, but not the metallic threads. But this is Hummingbird Pixie, and it's a really pretty one. It's definitely on the list of ones that I want to start or want to do. Okay, I did go Super Bowl Sunday. The Silver Needle here in Tulsa does that weekend, they do a sale, and so I went and shopped with some friends. I got some different things. First of all, I kitted up from the Year in the Woods sale from Cottage Garden Samplings. I got floss for that. I converted one of the colors or one of the dyers to something else, and so I pulled floss that would work for that. I believe burnt orange and aged pewter were already called for. Yeah, and then the other ones that I got here are ones that I used instead of what was called for. So prickly pear is this lovely pink. Baking tin, nice silvery gray. Blooming crocus, nice little purple. Burnt orange, that goes in the fox. Brown bear, it's a lovely dark brown, kind of espresso color. Pecan pie, another brown. Walnut, kind of a grayer brown. Sunshine girl, and then the aged pewter. Aside from, okay, so some of these were classic colorworks and everything, but if you want, if you'd like to know what I substituted these for, anything, or the conversion that I did, just send me a message. I'd be happy to share that. Cottage Garden Samplings has the floss list for the first 6 charts, and so I used that to kind of do that, and then I could look at the actual called for and then find something that I wanted to use instead. Okay, I also purchased a piece of fabric. So I got 40 count Heartland from Picture This Plus, which is a nice gold kind of color. It's not as goldy as I was looking for doubloon in 40 count, but they didn't have it. So I got this, and I think it's gonna work for what I want it to. So I got the Lindy Stitches, the quote from Rose for the Betty White Owl. Lots of people have been doing. And then it's charted in Classic Colorworks, and I purchased those, except I didn't get the Aurora Waves or Amber Waves or whatever that color. I'm going to use something different. And then they didn't have Bejeweled, but they did have, I found one that from another dyer. So this is from Gentle Art. It's called Island Blue. I think that's going to work great. It's more green, I think, than Bejeweled is, but I think it's still going to be a good color for a fish. And then I got the other Classic Colorworks. So I think that'll work. Okay, that's everything from there. Oh, hold on. I have visual aids for the last portion. Okay, so what have I've only read 2 books recently in the last few weeks. First up, I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. And this is a picture of the cover. I read it on Audible, so I listened to it, but that is the first one. This is more of a horror book than I typically read, but a friend of mine had read it and I liked that idea, or I thought I'd try it. It's certainly, there's definitely like creepy elements of it from in the horror aspect, and it's different. So it's set in kind of the mid 90s, the early to mid 90s, in a fictional southern town that is a suburb to a bigger city, or at least a bigger city than it is, but it's very much like still southern, racist, like that definitely exists. And I believe that is what the author is trying to discuss, one of the themes that it's trying to show. To me, it was kind of odd in ways because it felt like at times that it was more historic than the 90s were, but I'm also was not really that cognizant during that time period, but I feel like, oh, we should have been better than that, but really we weren't. And so essentially there is a vampire. It's a guide to vampire slaying. There's a vampire. This group of suburban housewives that have a book club, and they, their interactions with the vampire and, their efforts to stop him. It has some very horror things to it. There's a, if you don't like rats, there's a very graphic scene with those things that would be very triggering for people. There is also sexual assault that happens in it, and so there's a lot of things to it, but it was interesting and thought-provoking in ways. I was talking about it with my mom last night, who's not read it, but I kind of went over it. She's not going to read it. And the kind of things that we kind of got out of it and what it made her think about was very interesting. So I enjoyed it. I don't know that there's not more coming in this series or like with these characters. But it was it made me think a lot, and I think it's not just a horror book or not just, it clearly is exploring issues of, second-class citizens and groups of people and how they aren't all treated the same, and even the difference, and racism is very prevalent in this book. And yeah, it's very interesting, but and it was very much like, oh, I do not like the men in this book at all, for the most part. I don't know if any of them that I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good person. So there was that. But overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting, and it definitely was thought-provoking in a lot of ways, so that was good. But after that, I was like, I need something that is very different, very easy, very fun, and comfortable. And so I reread Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, which is a romance rom-com. It's more of a romantic comedy book than like really romance. Like there are some sex scenes, but it's not like a graphic version of it. I think it's even less than like Red, White, and Royal Blue. So I feel like it's definitely on the less graphic side than that. But it's really fun. I talked about this before when I read it last year. It's just a really enjoyable, funny book. The characters are really funny. They're pretty ridiculous about a lot of things. There's a lot of kind of ridiculous characters in there, but it just works together. They're really interesting. Reading it through the second time, some other things kind of stuck out to me. Like, it's really nice. This is certainly not like one person being good for the other one. This is really like they're both good for each other, and they kind of both help each other grow. The one character's journey through that is pretty rushed and more at the end. And so there is a sequel coming out this year, which is the other reason why I wanted to read this, called Husband Material. And so I look forward to that and seeing how these characters have grown. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed the audiobook. So the kind of premise is one of them, the Lucian, he's the child of two rock stars that had him and then split up while his father abandoned them. And his mom has not really continued to work in the music industry, but her songs are popular, so she's still making money off of them. And so he is not really directly famous, but is famous adjacent. And so in London, the paparazzi follow him, and he's had problems with that in the past. He gets like the paparazzi take pictures of him and imply some things that are just not true. And his job at a charity, he works as a fundraiser for a charity that is devoted to saving the dung beetle, which is, you can see the ridiculousness of this, but it's really fun. And so he's kind of told by his boss, like, okay, like, you can't do that. We've had donors pull out because they don't like you showing up in the papers and stuff. You gotta, you're not the right kind of gay. You need to clean yourself up and whatnot, which is completely horrible and wrong. And he's like, but the doctor that is kind of like, this money is going towards her research. She's essentially like, well, if you sue us, we don't have, you are causing us to not have money. And if you sue us, we will have even less money. We can't pay you. Like, there's no point in suing us. Yeah, it may be wrong, but here's the deal. You got to clean it up. You got to get people back, or you're done. And so he gets set up with a friend of a friend, like his best friend, that's his straight best friend, and she has another gay friend, Oliver. And so she's like, you two get together. Oliver needs somebody for him to take home for his parents' wedding anniversary. Lucian needs somebody for this event and to try to get better press. And so they're fake boyfriending it. And then, of course, things happen and it changes from that. But it's a rom-com. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely recommend it again. Augie. Sorry, some dog is barking outside and Augie has decided to join him. Augie, come here. But that's all the books that I read. Other media that I just watched The Gilded Age, finished that. That was really interesting. Sorry, the first 5 episodes, or 4 episodes? I think 5 are out. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's very interesting. It's from it's on HBO, and it's the creator of Downton Abbey is it's his series set in the 1890s New York, and it's very much, there's some new money people coming into town, and then there's the old money aristocracy, old New York, and the clash between the two. But you still have some of the upstairs downstairs elements from Downton Abbey, but not as much. There's less of, there certainly are some downstairs storylines going on, but they're not as much of the characters' main part of they're there, but their storylines don't seem to be as highlighted as they are in Downton Abbey. So My boyfriend and I just finished watching Ted Lasso, the first season, and that was really enjoyable. I'm looking forward to watching more of that. We also both watch the Drag Race shows that are going right now. RuPaul's Drag Race season 14 is currently airing. And then there's also an All-Stars version, which is kind of like an international All-Stars, but it's called Drag Race UK versus the World, which is also going, and is kind of very shocking things have been happening on there of who's gone home, but not really shocking from, like, if you think about how the All-Stars, how the decision of who goes home is made. So, but it's been kind of crazy. So we've been enjoying that. I look forward to those continuing, and I think that's pretty much it. So if there's anything that you're like, oh, that looks really cool, Matt, definitely start that one, or you should work on that, or if there's anything that you think I should work on in the March Madness, comment down below if there's anything like that. Thank you for all your support. I hope you enjoy the next few weeks, some more stitching time, and I will see you in the next one.